Welcome to the Knitting Type podcast. My name is Sara, and this is episode 12 of the Knitting Type podcast. I am recording live in Fort Collins, Colorado, and today is Tuesday, November 1st. Actually, today is Monday, Halloween, October 31st, but I'm not going to be uploading this until tomorrow. So technically, I guess you could say I'm Sara from the past. Which is kind of haunting because it's Halloween. Ooh, creepy. I am very excited about this episode, and the title of this episode is The Gilmore Girls Knit Along. And that is because this episode is mostly going to be full of Gilmore Girls Knit Along information because November 1st, today, the day I post this video, is the day that the knit along starts. So we have some exciting things going on and I can't wait to share them with you. But right now I'm going to stop the video because I have to go grab my cell phone to do a drawing. Okay, so this episode is going to be full of Gilmore Girls information, and I do have some finished projects to show as well as a half-finished object. But mostly I'm going to be talking about the Gilmore Girls knit along and the rules and how to get involved in the knit along, and then prizes. I have some prizes that arrived today. I have another prize announcement for next week's podcast. And then I have last week's podcast prize winner announcement. So let's go ahead and get started. So that's my greeting. I'm going to be going through some housekeeping, then I'll get into my FOs and my whips, and then I will go ahead and get into the details about the Gilmore Girls knit along. So if you tuned into this podcast to mostly see knitting content, I'm going to put that in the middle, and then at the end we'll kind of talk about the Gilmore Girls knit along. So to get started, I would like to go ahead and announce the winner of last week's prize, really. So part of this knit along is that I'm going to be giving away prizes every week during the month of November, and since this is the first week of November, I have a prize, and I'll show you what the prize is right here. It is a Gilmore Girls bag, project bag, and maybe if I put it back here, the light won't affect it so much. And so it has a denim bottom and a button that says Stars Hollow, and it has this cute little dragonfly keychain, or not keychain, progress keeper. And this is essentially Stars, the town of Stars Hollow where the show takes place. And the lining is just plain white. I like to put a plain white lining in most of my project bags because I like the knitting that's inside the project bag to stand out. So you won't really see patterned linings in my project bags. So in order to be eligible to win this prize last week, I asked that people join my Ravelry group, which is the Knitting Type podcast, and answer the question of, or no, just start chattering. I think just sign up. So there was a discussion group called Gilmore Girls Chatter, and I asked that anyone that was interested in joining the knit along just go in there, say hi, maybe tell us what you were going to start knitting, but just kind of start the ball rolling. And so I had a couple people, I'm going to get my iPad here and look down at it so that I can pull up my Ravelry page, and then I have my cell phone so that I can do random number generator. So I apologize for doing this all on the podcast, but sometimes people do that and it's fun, and sometimes people do it ahead of time, and I don't know, I'm just unprepared, so I'm doing it right here in front of you live. Oh, I had 2 more comments in the chatter like a Gilmore. That's exciting. Ooh, how many people do we have in here? Oh, that's so exciting. Okay, so people are talking about what they're going to make. It looks like some people are thinking of fingerless mitts, and some people are thinking of hats. And then I know CC Almond has a really great Where You Lead, I Will Follow pattern, which is a sock pattern, and that's what I'm going to be knitting, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. And then you just say done, go. Okay, and it went for exactly in the middle, and so it chose 5. And so then I'm going to go back to my discussion board, and I'm going to see who the 5th person to comment, obviously besides myself, was. 3, 4, and so my 5th person is shllybkwrm, and her name is Shelly, which makes sense. So congratulations, Shelly, you have won this project bag, and so just get in touch with me and I will get it mailed out to you this week. So yay! I'm so sorry I put you all through that. Maybe I'll chop out a section. I'm trying to get this podcast recorded quickly because it's Halloween, and obviously we're going to have the bell ringing any minute. We get probably like 50 kids that come by, and so I have a little cauldron by the front door full of candy. And if you're not from the United States, Halloween is this holiday where kids dress in costume and they walk door to door and they ask for candy, and nice people give it to them. And then they get to go get cavities filled when they're adults like me. So my next announcement as part of housekeeping is the bag swap. So Shannon from Sockcetra and I are hosting a bag swap. This is our 2nd annual bag swap. And the idea behind it is if you are interested in making a bag and swapping a bag with somebody else and maybe filling that bag with goodies or not, then you can sign up in either my Ravelry group or Shannon's Ravelry group, and we will each have a sign-up discussion thread going, and sign-ups are from November 1st through November 15th. So if you're watching this today, this sign-up should be ready for you to go ahead and sign up. The rules are just really basic in that if you want to swap a bag, make a bag, you have to sew a project bag and then swap with your partner. And so yeah, signups are up. Go sign up. It was a lot of fun last time. We had, I think, a little over 100 participants. So everybody seemed to really enjoy it. Okay, moving on. I have a faux. Oh my gosh, this has taken me forever. Forever. These are my monkey socks. Cookie A. They're finally done in this cute little pair. Whoop. So there they are in all of their heel toe clef glory and knit in the Hedgehog Fibers teacup. That is this colorway, this kind of speckled cream. And I have 2 different lights going, so I think that light blows it out a little bit more than this light. And the teacup is just really cute because it's pinks and browns and flecks of blue, just kind of like you would see on an old English teacup. And then I just like to do the alternating heel toe cuff. I cast on 64 stitches for each one of these, and I think I did a 5.5 inch patterned calf, and then the foot for me I wear a size 8, so I tend to knit from here, well, from all the way back here, so from the heel flap up to where I start the cuff, it is about 7.5 inches, and then the last 2.5 inches, 2 inches is when I cast off for my toe. I use size 1 circular needles. I like the Chia Goo needles, and I like a 32-inch cord. And I think that's it. They fit great. I was making these for Kristen of Wooland Vine Yarns and the Yarngasm podcast for her annual box of socks knit along, her cal, but that cal, you're supposed to make 12 socks for 1 year, and this is pair number 6 for me, and I started them in July and they are done now in October, so I don't think I'm gonna get 12 done. But you know what? I bought a box, and when it's all full of the lovely socks, um, I will put all my socks in the box, and then I will show you the socks that I did get finished this year. I might be able to whip off at least 2 more, although one pair is going to be a shorty. So that leads me into hose or whips. A hoe is a half-finished object. A whip is a work in progress. So this meets both because I have one finished sock, which is right here. And I think I showed this on a sock blocker last week, but I don't think I have another sock blocker around here, so I'll just put it on this fancy one. And if you're not familiar with these wooden sock blockers with the little sheep carvings in them, I got mine from the Loopy U, which they have an online store as well as a brick and mortar store, which is here in Fort Collins. So that's where I bought mine. But this is technically my hoe because it's a half finished object because it's part of a pair. And this is the Sous Sun Aile sock by Lydia B, knit in the O Loops yarn in her, I always forget what this yarn is. It's on my project page. Trusty Loyal Companion. Her Loyal Companion is this white yarn, and then my heel toe cuffs are in the Brownie Colorway in Dream Yarns Everlasting sock. So half finished object, and this is my whip, my current work in progress. So you can see I have finished the heel flap and I finished the top, and now I'm just working on the decrease. I believe that's called the gusset, and then I'll get the foot done. So my goal originally was to have this done by today because it's part of the O Loops Harry Potter knit along, and the October challenge was to knit a pattern that was either named after a flying creature or had something to do with flying, and you get like double points if you use the O Loops yarn. And well, darn it, I didn't get it done. Yep. So this is as far as I got, and I'll probably work on it tonight, but I won't finish an entire foot of a sock in one evening because, you know, I got to get up and go to work in the morning. I got to look good and be functional. So these are knit on size 1 or 2.25 millimeter needles. These are the Chia Goos that I really prefer. And here's a funny thing that happened. I knit the back of the cuff of my sock differently. So on this sock, you can probably see that it is a standard stockinette stitch right here, right? And then on this sock, where the heel is, you can see that I continued the pattern at the back. So my socks are gonna be different back to front, front to back. What are you gonna do? I've decided to take up the motto that Shannon shares, and if you have children in the room, block their ears or pause this now. But there's a hashtag going on for your knitting. If you decide to not frog your mistakes and just keep going, and that hashtag is children cover your ears. Fuck it, it's fine. And that's totally how I feel about these two different cuffs. Actually, I think it will be an interesting experiment in figuring out if I prefer to have a pattern on the front or on the front and the back. And yeah, because I've never not continued a pattern onto the back of the sock before. So I guess we'll find out. Great. I don't have any other projects. So if you have joined me just for the knitting, that's all I was able to get done in 1 week. So not a lot of progress, but I did cast on a whole sock, I think, and finish one. So I guess that is kind of a lot of progress. Okay, so if you were here just for the knitting and not for the Gilmore Girls knit along, then I bid you adieu and thank you for coming, and I promise to be here this coming Sunday. So only 6 more days if you're interested. Who knows what knitting, maybe I'll finish that sock. Maybe that's the knitting I'll get done. So now I'm going to move on to just Gilmore Girls chatter. We are 25, well, today's Halloween, so we are officially 25 days, 25 and a half days away. And tomorrow when I post this, we will probably be 24 and a half days away from the revival. What? OMG, I'm so excited. I mentioned before that I'm hosting this podcast because I am one of Gilmore Girls' #1 fans. Now, I'm not so much of a fangirl that I have like named any pets after any of the characters or named any offspring after any of the characters or stalked any of the actors or anything like that. But part of what this knit along will include, or at least my videos, is funny and unique stories that I have about Gilmore Girls experiences that are truly one of a kind, I believe. There are not many people that have stories like this. So today I'm drinking blueberry balanced water by Target. Sponsor, not a sponsor. They don't give me anything. So here is my Gilmore Girls knit along story for our very first week of the knit along challenge. I met Rory Gilmore. That's right. I personally met Alexis Bledel. This was in 2001, I believe. So the show had I think the show came out in 2000. So I met Alexis around 2001 or 2002. And so I lived in LA for a little bit. I lived in corporate housing. I was attending fashion school at the time. And the corporate housing that I was in was located right next to the Warner Brothers studio in North Hollywood, or NoHo, as they call it. And I went to fashion school in downtown LA. And so many of the child actors that did weekly recordings at the Warner Brothers studio also lived at these apartments. They're called the Oakwood Apartments if you've ever visited LA. I'm trying to think of the area specifically that I lived in. Oh my gosh, it's escaped me now. I'll probably think of it as soon as I stop recording. So it's northern Hollywood. It's northern, I don't know if it's North LA. It's North Hollywood. And the apartment complex is called Oakwood Corporate Housing, and they just supply furnished apartments. So one night I was seeing a guy at the time, and he invited me to go to some party that was in a neighboring apartment. There were 26 apartment buildings, maybe 28. And within those apartment buildings, I don't even know how many apartments were inside. So going to a party at another apartment building was almost like, in standard talk, going to another apartment complex. And so I think I went to the other side of the apartment complex and went to this party and was probably there for 10-15 minutes talking to people when my boyfriend introduced me to the people that were sitting on the couch. And not my boyfriend, guy I was seeing, introduced me to the people that were on the couch. And I remember this girl standing up. She was in the center of the 3 people sitting on the couch, and the guy I was seeing at the time said, and this is Alexis Bledel. She plays Rory on Gilmore Girls. I don't know if you watched that. And she reached her hand over and she shook my hand and she said, hi. And she was wearing tan corduroys and a striped shirt, like very Rory. She might have just been recording that night. I have no idea. I'm making stories up. So she reached her hand across the table, the coffee table, and shook my hand and said, hi, it's nice to meet you. And then I said, oh, hey, yeah, I think my mom watches your show. No, I've never seen it, but nice to meet you. And then I can't tell you, then it's like my memory goes up in smoke and I have no idea how the rest of the night played out, because the reason I think I remember this story is that I shortly after that started watching Gilmore Girls myself. And of course, myself in the present time of meeting Rory Gilmore was like, hey, you're a celebrity, I'm a person, you're a person, no big deal. Whereas 36-year-old me, if I met Alexis Bledel, would lose the ability to speak. I'd probably drool a little bit and just make sounds. And my extended handshake would probably look like I was trying to maul her, because I would not have the ability to be cool. I'm grateful in the moment that I was cool, but present me is really disappointed that past me didn't like try to become her best friend, because we were around the same age and that was my only opportunity. So that is my very first Gilmore Girls knit-along story. I met Alexis Bledow. She was lovely, and she looked just like Rory, and she was soft-spoken just like Rory. So I think at that time she was probably 19 or 20, and I was like 21. So, okay, so let's talk about the details of the knit-along. So this is a 30-day knit-along from November 1st to November 30th. And the idea is to knit anything Gilmore Girls inspired. So whether you find an actual Gilmore Girls pattern or you purchase Gilmore Girls inspired, like actual colorways for Gilmore Girls, that's up to you. And you can go completely rogue and just find a colorway that to you screams one of the characters or one of the scenes, and you can then find a pattern. Like maybe you saw something in the show, or maybe they wear a lot of hats or fingerless mitts, or Babette and Miss Patty, shawls, or they have an entire show that's about a knit-a-thon and a lot of people are knitting crazy items. Or I know that Lorelai has this beautiful crocheted blanket on the back of her couch, and so maybe you try your hands at that. So really, it's completely up to you. It's whatever you want to make of it. I just wanted to host a forum in which we could all talk about our Gilmore Girls knits and obsessions and watch the show together and kind of take part in the whole experience. So there really is no like official project that you have to make. Excuse me. So no official project that you have to make. And I think it's really like with the goal of obviously getting a project finished by the end of the knit along, but in truth, I'm just happy if you participate at all. I mean, just to be a part of the community is wonderful. So I will say that the final prize is open to anybody who's participating. And so I am going to have a no chatter photo only thread where come November 30th, I would like everyone to upload their finished objects. So whatever you were able to get done by November 30th, and then I will do a drawing on December 1st from all of the photographed objects that were put into the thread. And so I've already announced last week's podcast winner, and so I'm going to show this week's podcast prize. Now, I have said I'm going to be giving away prizes on both my Instagram and my podcast, so I'm only going to show the podcast eligible prizes on the podcast and the Instagram prize eligible prizes on Instagram. And I'm going to announce those prizes in their respective forums. So you're not really going to see any of the Instagram prizes here, but if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, I am TheKnittingType, and I will be having weekly giveaways on there as well. So this week's podcast prize is, this is a Notions pouch, and it's daisies, and it has a quote from the show that says, "I love you 1,000 yellow daisies." And so you can kind of see that. And again, it's a very simple Notions pouch with just a white lining. So you can see all your notions inside. Woo, this is just getting blown out. So there you go. I am going to be making project bags out of this fabric. I haven't decided if that's going to be used for a giveaway either. But I'll share more about that later. So with this also, you are eligible to win these really cute Gilmore Girls themed stickers. So let's see if I can get that. There we go. And in case that didn't stay focused long enough, I'll tell you what some of the quotes say. The one with Luke's face says, "It's a big fat sunshine day for me." The one by Lorelai says, "My brain is a wild jungle full of scary gibberish." Rory's quote says, "Every relationship is just a big honkin' leap of faith." Another one by Lorelai says, "Coffee, please," and a shot of cynicism. There's 2 coffee cups that say, "I need coffee and an IV." And another Lorelai quote that says, "I don't like Mondays, but unfortunately they come around eventually." And then the last quote is from Richard Gilmore, um, excuse me, and it says, "What she tackles, she conquers." And then there are two Luke's, these Luke stickers, and then Team Dean, Team Jess, or Team Logan. And then, of course, these scary bobblehead things with the flag of Gilmore Girls right next to them. And I just thought these were fun. I found them on Etsy from a sticker maker. I have a copy. I have a planner. I'll probably put them in my planner that week. But yeah, I thought they were super cute. So this is this week's podcast prize. And to be eligible to win, I would like you to leave a comment below. So on this video, leave a comment that is, oh, did I write it? I think I wrote it. Oh, no, I didn't. I put it on these show notes. Okay, so in order to be eligible for this week's prize, please leave a comment in response to this question. Who is your favorite Gilmore Girls character and why? And next week, I will share my answer to that. And so I will do a drawing to those who, subscribe to the podcast and then leave a comment down below. Okay, so in the vein of getting prizes for this podcast and for the Instagram giveaway, I have reached out to several yarn dyers, pattern makers, progress keeper makers, and then myself, of course, making things, just because I wanted to get a really nice variety of prizes to give out, and I wanted the opportunity to get other knit accessory designers, makers, yarn dyers involved in the knit along. So some of those objects came in today, and I'm so excited to show them. I have these, they're a little bit noisy, so I apologize. But I worked with Joanna of the Gnome Knitter, and she made 5 of these cute progress keepers. So we have this one, which I hope is focused. Oh, is it my face in the way? So this is a cheeseburger, because the Gilmore Girls are always eating cheeseburgers at Luke's Diner, and she did an amazing job, Joanna did, on all of these progress keepers. I said, can you make me 5 and individually wrap them, because I want to give them away at various times and maybe as part of other packages. So this is her very first one. And this is the cheeseburger inspired by the Gilmore Girls. So they have this love of junk food. I assume if you're still watching, you know a lot about the Gilmore Girls. So they have a love of junk food. So I asked for a couple junk food items. So this is a pizza. Let's see. Focus. Whoop. I'm sorry. This is probably very annoying. I'm really trying to get it to focus. It's a cute little piece of pizza with the fixings. My husband said he's going to take really nice high quality photos of all of these so that I can put them somewhere. And then this is a chocolate donut. So you can see this cute little chocolate donut. And then I don't think Joanna had this in her store yet. Maybe she's made them before, maybe not, but she just nailed it. I asked for a strawberry Pop-Tart. And what I love is that she not only made a strawberry Pop-Tart, but there you go. She actually had it with a bite taken out so that you could see that it was strawberry jelly. I thought that was so creative. And then, of course, the traditional coffee mug. So this is the coffee mug. So I don't know if you can tell right there. It is a little coffee mug. Whoop. So I have all 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These cute little junk food inspired progress keepers. And I'm going to be using those in giveaways. One might even be on Instagram this week. I'm thinking in the moment. That could happen. Okay, and then I should also say that Joanna has generously offered a discount code to her shop. So if you are interested in purchasing one of her Progress Keepers, I believe she makes them out of polymer clay, and she makes Progress Keepers and I think stitch markers and needle holders. She has offered a discount uh, to this podcast viewers, and the discount code I'll put down below is KnittingType15. And according to her note, this is a coupon code for 15% off your purchase of $10 or more in her shop. And I think each Progress Keeper is somewhere between $8 and $10, so you could easily spend $10 very quickly. So that is Joanna of the Gnome Knitter, and the coupon code is KnittingType15 for 15% off your purchase of $10 or more. Okay, that being said, the next prize I have to show, which will go along in one of these weekly giveaways, is another set of stickers that I got off of Etsy. And I think these are coming through pretty clearly, so I'm not going to read them. And they're all quotes from the show. So, of course, I got one of these for me. And I don't know, maybe I'm going to put it in my knitting notebook. Or maybe I'm just going to plaster them all over my mirror in my bathroom so my husband can look at them every day. I love you, and Gilmore Girls. So anyway, this will probably be paired with something else, or it could just be a giveaway all on its own, but either way, look forward to this in this coming month. Okay, and then some other prizes that I have that are coming is yarn from the Yarn at Home Mom. So the Yarn at Home Mom, let me see if I still have her email. I think her name's Shannon. Oh no, at the moment I'm like, is it Sharon or is it Shannon? Here she is. Does it say it? Of course it's not going to say it. Why would that be easy? Not at all. I have to look rude on my podcast and search for Etsy on my thing, which of course I can't find it either. So anyway, I believe her name is Shannon, and she is the Yarn at Home Mom on Etsy, and she makes custom Gilmore Girls colorways, and she has them for several characters, and she has them for locations and just quotes. She's themed colorways after quotes, and she makes mini skeins as well as regular sized skeins. And so I have purchased from her 3 mini skein sets, which I believe I'm going to break up in the name of giveaways. And so I will be giving those away on Instagram as well as my podcast. And then a full set of mini skeins, like, I don't know, I have to wait until I get the package, but more than just 1 or 2 for the grand prize. So speaking of the grand prize, this is what I have so far for the grand prize. So if you participate in this cal and you post a picture in the picture thread on the discussion board by November 30th, you will be entered to win 1 project bag in Gilmore Girls fabric made by me, a free pattern, and that is the one by Cece, titled Where You Lead I Will Follow, and that is a pair of socks, a Progress Keeper by the Gnome Knitter, I can't say which one yet, a few mini skeins of the Yarn at Home Mom in the Gilmore Girls colorway, and then 1 exclusive but not yet dyed. Well, 1, I think 1, maybe 2. I don't know yet. I don't know. Here's the thing. It's yarn. It's going to be yarn. It's going to be dyed by Legacy Knits. So Chelsea and Sue of Legacy Knits is going to be dyeing a custom colorway for this cal. So it is exclusive to this cal. And if you are interested in getting it, you can only get it here, at least as far as I know. I think those are the details we set up. And yes, so that is the grand prize package. And I'm very excited about that colorway. I have not seen it yet. Sue and I have talked. So Sue and Chelsea are creative geniuses when it comes to dyeing colorways, and I approached them because, hello, they're a mother-daughter duo in Connecticut that dyes yarn. It doesn't get any better than that. Like, that is, what more do you need for a Gilmore Girls knit along? I need for nothing, except for to maybe sit with Chelsea and Sue and watch Gilmore Girls while using their yarn. If anybody can make that happen, give me a call. So that is my grand prize. And before I leave, I want to tell you about a couple other discount codes that I have for this month as well. So the Yarn at Home Mom has offered our knit along a discount code of GGFans10 for 10% off your order from her shop. So you can join this cal at any time, and if you're thinking I'd really like some Gilmore Girls themed yarn for my project, please go to the Yarn at Home Mom's Etsy shop and use this discount code to purchase yourself some Gilmore Girls yarn and cast on as soon as possible. The next coupon code that I have, and the last one, is from Adelaide Cottage. So Shauna of Adelaide Cottage is currently making Gilmore Girls kits, and that includes a project bag, I believe a mini skein of yarn, and some stitch markers that are all Gilmore Girl themed. She just posted them. She posted I think it was a kit pre-sale, and that sold out pretty quickly. So she is going to have another pre-sale soon, and she has offered our knitting, this knit along, the discount code of GGLove for 10% off. So you can go to Adelaide Cottage on Etsy and use the coupon code GGLove for 10% off your purchase from her shop. So I think that might be it. I'm very excited. If you are interested in winning this just one more time, this week's giveaway, you'll just have to leave a comment in the bottom of this YouTube video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And your comment should be in answer to the question, who is your favorite Gilmore Girls character and why? So cast on and enjoy. I'm going to be casting on as soon as I get my yarn. I guess I should tell you that. I did buy some yarn from the Yarn at Home Mom in the Dragonfly colorway and sock yarn to knit the CC Almond pattern, Where You Lead I Will Follow. So I plan to cast that on as soon as my yarn shows up, which it shipped, I think, Saturday, so hopefully I'll get it tomorrow or Wednesday. I hope you all have a great night. I'm so grateful to you for coming to spend some time with me, and I can't wait to see your comments and spend some time with you. So thank you. Bye. It is crocheted using an H hook, which I wrote down is a 5mm hook, and I used Vanna White's acrylic yarn by Lion brand, so just a Joanne Fabrics line of yarn.